Thanks, Kavish. So we are here with Kavish Gadia, the co-founder and CEO of Stones to Milestones. So thank you so much for being here. And I read an article about you yesterday saying that you're the only, about Project Literacy Lab, and then they're the only selected Asian venture. So it sounded pretty amazing. So very, very popular in India.
I think Project Literacy Lab has made us popular by making us the only company from Asia to be selected. we actually didn't do much about it.
We're looking for someone special, so and I was really humble when you said yesterday that it's a real privilege to be here. I think you have no idea how we are the lucky ones to have you here. So I've been learning so much in the past few days with you. So thank you for being here.
Yes, and then for me as well, it was a great opportunity primarily because while we are working in India on the same problem, we all know the number 750 million challenge, and everyone is solving through such a different strategy, such a different technology, so many different ways to solve the same problem.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a great opportunity to have some deep conversations, build some new connections, and possibly some wonderful collaborations. So we are more excited to be part of this. Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about your business and the main inspiration for you to starting it?
Yeah, so first, can I take the liberty to call it my mission?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
go for it.
so we actually call this mission Creating a Nation of Readers, and I think I would like to give a bit of context because some of us may not know about the country where this originating from. So post-independence, we had like 500 problems to deal with, and probably fixing the education system was not the top of the agenda, right? So we inherited an education system which needed certain practices to be followed. Hopefully it played to our benefit because eventually when globalization was happening, it helped us to grow faster than most of the developing nations. However, it became a curse to a country which was not ready to handle that. And right now, 90% of children in India read below grade levels in a language that they are supposed to graduate from. So that was something which was playing on my mind for a long time. But you need to wait for the right moment, for the courage for you to kind of take it head on. That took some time. So the mission is simple. It's simply by the end of grade 3, get every child in the country to read independently in English with fluency and comprehension. And that's like empowering them to take care of all their needs going forward. It's a simple solution to probably almost every problem that we go through.
It's amazing. And you were, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you were a very successful banker. How did your family reacted to your so we're in a really comfortable position now. I'm just going to go to this new world of no salary.
Yeah.
How do they react?
So I think there are one important part to it is I think it came quite easy to me to quit my banking career, especially when I became successful. Till I become successful, it was like all whimsical thinking that yes, I can change the world. But once you're successful, it's something. The kind of confidence it gives you to solve something which is even bigger was a big starting point for me. While I was a banker, I think it was kind of a lifestyle for me because everyone loved me because I made money, and that was kind of a lifestyle. However, I was looking for something which could be my lifetime mission. My partners at investment banking firm saying that done with it, I'm moving from a lifestyle business. So I just gave them two simple arguments, and my arguments were as simple. Miserably fail in the next opportunity. I hope you still believe that I can come back to the third one and make it better, right? So you can wait for it. Second, always a business school will give you drive for money, but when you latch onto a mission that you find aligned to your personal mission, imagine the kind of love, happiness, joyfulness that I will go through. And isn't that more important for my loved ones than just making money? So I think it was fairly easy to say, because I think I could argue them out very easily.
They had to say yes, basically. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience at school?
At school?
Yeah.
Oh, so I was actually blessed to go to a school which was great in the early years, very early years, where I got blessed with the joy of reading early. However, probably when I was about 8 was when I moved to my grandparents' farm, where actually they were not literate in English. The school I went there on had teachers who were teaching in an English medium school, but they couldn't speak English themselves. But still I did incredibly well, primarily because I was gifted with the reading ability. So the school that I went to couldn't help me much. That gave me a connection to what probably most of the children go through. For 9, can I give it to every child in the country by the time they become 9 to take care of themselves?
It's amazing. Going back to the business side, what were, if you had started to become an entrepreneur, what would you highlight?
So you were referring to the second one, the mission that I'm talking, not the investment banking.
Yeah.
So
the bright side
yes.
of your life.
So here, the first and foremost challenge I had was, most of the time when solutions come from the community, people don't believe in it. If somebody from US or UK had to come to India and say, okay, this is something which is going to work for you, I don't know, somehow there is more credibility that they attach to it. While I feel that the most powerful solutions come out of the community itself, a community where I've grown up, where everyone in our team has grown up, they probably know more about it. Second, solutions which are something which will change people's lives, most of the time are so simple that it doesn't meet your eye. So when you talk about, actually, it's just about fixing reading, they're like, it's so obvious. So I think the biggest challenge we continue having, is creating an fuzzy right now, saying, that's stupid for someone not to understand, but that's the biggest challenge. Second challenge, as in, while we have like 4 or 5 top challenges, but the second most important I think there is some kind of food which I feel is a more necessary need than education. There is some kind of a hat that we wear when it's about education or health, that it can't be a profitable opportunity. And that was a bit of a challenging thing initially. But then we had certain breakthroughs around understanding what money is all about, and it's been wonderful.
It's really great. I think I couldn't agree more when you say that innovation can come from anywhere, and I really relate to that, because India is a really interesting country, very similar to my home country, Brazil, where people are just trying to find agile, collaborative ways of meeting social needs. How inspired were you with this ecosystem of innovations coming from the fringes of society that happens in India and happens in Brazil?
Yeah, so I think we've got quite a few incredible examples. If you look at microfinance industry, it's come from our communities, right? As in, people were borrowing money at 40%, 50%, 60% per annum interest rates. And there are like tons of those examples. And that is precisely the reason why we believe in it. It's going to be a long haul. So that's why I said, our education system, which has gone through 500 years or even longer ruling, we were ruled by various dynasties over 500 years plus. At least we need to give 1,000 hours to the child to make good. So I think we need to be patient over there, and it's going to be, at least in my lifetime, if we can impact we have got more than 300 million kids, and by the time I'm done, it will be much more, I'm guessing. Even if we reach 100 million, I think I will go peacefully.
And what would you say to new entrepreneurs, young ones that are starting now? What would be the piece of advice you would give to them?
So I think if I have to give one advice, it is the order in which we set our goals is of crucial importance. So I can share how our goals are structured. So for me, the top goal is to be the best place in the world to work for. So if I can take care of the promise of the team, I think the team will make anything possible out there. The second goal is to live up to the promise to the child. We have given a promise to them that by the end of grade 3, you will be an independent reader. So we can't take our eyes off that promise in pursuit of scale. And then the third goal will automatically be achieved. If you have achieved the first goal of living up to the promise of your team, living up to the promise of the children who are your clients, who can stop us to be super successful? We will be the largest literacy solvers in the world. So I think that's the sequence of our goals.
That's fantastic. And more of a personal question, because I'm always interested in the personal side of great entrepreneurs and amazing people. What do you do to recharge when you're feeling tired and drained?
Also, thankfully, come from a country where spirituality is like kind of part of our upbringing. So I've been really blessed that it came to me quite early. So I have a certain regime every day morning. So I don't usually come to a position.
That was my next question, your morning routine.
So I think I'll answer both your questions in this.
Great. We're agile, we're rapid prototyping, interacting.
Yeah,
good.
So actually, so thankfully, because of that blessing almost about 7 years ago, which I got, which was to follow a regime. The fact that after my running or whatever physical exercise I do, I have a practice for everything that I've been blessed with, specifically the previous day. Because to get that one more day itself is a big blessing. To have all your loved ones whom you know to be there that day is itself a big blessing, and then on top of it, we have everything else. So I think that gratitude expression to myself every day morning has kept me grounded and kept me rock solid. So even if I have few people quit or few clients quit or some happen, and in India we have lots of road accidents all the time. So I was sharing with people around here that I don't break signals, but because somebody else is breaking signal, I end up getting banged. So I think we don't get disturbed with those things because of this daily regime of silence and gratitude. And I would sincerely request every entrepreneur to be in gratitude to what they received yesterday. They may have lost a lot more.
That's great. If you were to, I know you're an avid reader. What's if you had to pick one book, what's the most inspiring book you've ever read in your life?
So one of the most inspiring has been a recent one, probably a year back I had read, I don't remember the author's name. The book is called Power of Positive Deviance, which simply talks about few great examples of community solving their own problems. I think for this group, good you asked me this question, for this group, it's a must read.
That's good. Great, you killed another question as well. Like, what would you recommend to the entrepreneurs? Great. So we're running out of time, unfortunately. So I'll ask a last question that is less personal, but I think it's relevant for everyone here involved with Project Literacy Lab. How do you think technology will evolve and shape the education sector in the next, let's say, 10 years?
Beautiful. So this is a recent, somebody told me recently, as in whom I was talking about technology in education, that for technology to be super effective in education, it has to be invisible. And it may not be contextually relevant for here. I'm talking about the context where we work in. the moment you bring in technology as a solution for problems in education, come from, whether it's the teacher or the parent or children, they are used to a very different kind of learning. So while technology is super critical, our company is an edtech company, as in we are completely, we have got 4 technology platforms already. So we believe in it, but it has to become invisible. And what I understand by it becoming invisible is simply that it becomes such an integral part of their life, and that can only happen if you don't want technology for them to change their behaviors. If you can create a technology platform in education which can align to the consumer behavior, it's only going to work then. I don't think like e-commerce companies, we would be able to change consumer behavior in education to get technology adoption.
Hopefully. Thanks so much, Kavish. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.